Hello, this is Veritas Malefica with a general reading for the zodiac sign of Virgo, pertaining to the energies of the full moon in Aquarius on Monday, August 19th, 2024. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading, not a personal reading. If you are looking for a one-to-one reading, I do offer them on a very limited basis. The information for how to book that is listed below in the description box. Keeping that in mind, I have already meditated on the energies and shuffled the cards, and I have gone ahead and selected an oracle card for today. I did want to start with just some words to begin with. I did select the Aquarian Tarot because that seemed fitting for this Aquarius full moon. And as I grabbed it, I realized that there was a card that did not belong from my Rider-Waite deck. The back is different from the back of these cards. So I found it very interesting that it was the Star, which is the card of Aquarius. And I just feel like that, said this is the only deck that is actually tarot that we need to use today. I had intended to use a secondary deck for clarification, but I think I'm going to keep these readings very simple and tap in to my intuition primarily. Instead of focusing so heavily on the cards. We're going to talk about a lot of astrology going on because, and this is why I'm doing this video a little bit early. This coming week is going to be, for lack of a better term, pure chaos. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of things in retrograde. Mercury is in retrograde. Pluto's in retrograde, Neptune's in retrograde, Uranus is in retrograde, Saturn is in retrograde. And all of these individually are not that big of a deal. Mercury is kind of annoying. There's a lot of tech issues and miscommunications, the usual things. But Jupiter is about to square Saturn. And I believe this begins on or around the full moon. This is going to last for 9 to 10 months. Now, Jupiter is the planet of luck, abundance, expansion, right? And Saturn is kind of its opposite almost, where it's more about restriction, boundaries, and things not moving very quickly. So that being said, this is going to be a time where we have these expansive thoughts and new things coming in that we want to get started, but there's going to be a lot of roadblocks to actually getting those things to begin. So great time to brainstorm, not a great time to actually get anything done. So this will be a lot of reassessment time, and generally speaking, from my understanding, this square generally tends to align with when there's a lot of changes in the financial sector, the economic sector. So we may see some craziness happening in and around that. Yeah. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of chaotic energy. There's also a perfect T square with the sun in Leo, the moon in Aquarius, and Uranus in Taurus. So this is creating kind of some tension, is kind of how I'll put that. And this could lead to things, unexpected things happening, kind of tower moments happening where it's all of a sudden, oh my gosh, how did that happen? So that being said, I'm keeping my readings simple. I did want to use an oracle deck today. I had a whole other deck lined up and it just didn't feel right to use it, but I've already selected that oracle card for you, Virgo. And wow, this is right on brand, I think, for most mutable signs during this retrograde. I am also a mutable sign and I'm feeling this energy. The card we got, this is from the Star Seed Oracle deck. I don't use oracle decks often, but I just felt like doing it today. So we have Water Your Garden. The card itself says nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. And main thing I'm being drawn to in this photograph is all of the roses happening here and all of the water. So for me, that's speaking very much to love and emotions. and making sure that you are taking care in that area of your life. I think focusing heavily on your personal relationships and your emotions and the things that do water you in that way is going to help you through this difficult and turbulent time. Um, I know you guys like to work a lot. Virgos are very like, let's get the routine done, let's get the structure done, let's stick with the program. But I think right now is the time to let yourself kind of not meet as many goals as you're used to. Again, with all of the things that are astrologically going on, I feel like there's going to be some major shifts. And it's okay to kind of take a time out for reassessment of the self, because that's going to help you to be able to logically and physically, financially move through anything that kind of comes up. So be sure to really take care of yourself, and particularly in an emotional way, and just let yourself kind of not be as productive. Things are not going to go exactly how you want them to, and that's okay. Now, with that being said, I also am really drawn to the stars in this picture, which I'm not exactly sure which constellation this is supposed to be, but it's ringing very similar to the star that we have in the background here, which this is a full moon in Aquarius. It feels like we have this giant starburst and then all these stars around it. And honestly, the imagery is kind of very similar, where we have this spring, this well, this, water, but the figure here is watering back into the earth and back into the pool here. So she's taking these ideas and using it to water. And so you look into what inspires you and what is drawing you forward into the next phase of your life, and use that as inspiration to give back to yourself a little bit. And I think that's really important for you to keep in mind during this period of time. I'm going to go away from that energy. I like that message for you, Virgo. Take it easy on yourself. I know you guys can be very self-critical. And you guys are kind of badasses most of the time. So, let yourself kind of chill for a bit. All right. So now we're going to get into the Aquarian Tarot, and let's see what we have for this full moon in Aquarius. Okay. All right, bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Swords in reverse. So it's funny. I'm feeling like this is saying the same thing, where it's like, allow yourself that time to go within and rest. Um, Kind of a holding back period where you're not necessarily moving forward yet or taking the blindfold off, so to speak. You're kind of letting yourself be between two things, or not quite opening a door yet. I feel like in this instance, that's a rather positive thing, to have this pause, this hesitation, to allow yourself to figure out what I need to do to move forward. Again, these are all speaking to kind of moving slowly. Um, we've got Seven of Swords in reverse. I'm seeing here as you are seeing through the energy correctly. You're reading the energy correctly. And it's okay to kind of not be collecting all the things all the time and moving around with such purpose. It's okay to just stop and observe, and so that you can see clearly, so that you're not being manipulated or blindsided by anyone or anything. You will be just fine, but right now is a time of slowness, is a time of, just observation is a big word I'm getting. Um, you've been dealing with a lot, and I think you've not been able to fill your own cup, and that's kind of made you feel like, I can't really move forward in whatever's happening in your life at this moment. And knowing Virgos in my life very deeply, and personally, I feel like this is this is difficult for you to just sit still. But I think in turning this Queen of Cups in reverse over here that we have, if we flip her a little bit and water our own cup, which is what we've got in the suggestion here, and take that moment of pause and reflection to figure out what it is that we need to water ourselves, that will allow you to kind of set down some of these burdens. You don't have to carry so much. And it's not time to move forward. It's not time to start anything. It's not time to go nuts with any of these ideas. If you don't take care of yourself first, then you can't possibly carry this load. You don't have to do it all alone, and the universe is suggesting that you don't. It is suggesting quite clearly here to take care of yourself and allow yourself to rest and allow yourself to emotionally care for your own being. That's what's going to allow you to have that strength and to lean on others around you that bring that emotional tenderness and care into your life. So any of those relationships that speak to this could just be friendships where you feel emotionally supported, where you feel heard, where you feel like, when you have a conversation with someone and they really, really deeply listen and give advice, or don't just listen. People that you feel support you in that emotional way. It could also be a romantic relationship. It could also just be leaning into that connection you have with family. So all those things I think are really, really important at this time. You're not going to be able to move forward. You're not going to have enough strength to meet these challenges until you do water yourself, so to speak. All right, so these cards were all right up. So this is like right here at the surface level, coming up straight away. Let's see what flipped down on the table. I'm supposed to read these right side up, I believe. That's the guidance I'm getting, because that makes a lot more sense. So we have the High Priestess. We have the Ace of Cups. We have the Six of Rods. So I see you really taking this advice to heart and shifting some of the ways that you are going about your world and going about your actions, going about your work. Um, I think it's really, really important that you do take this advice very inward and manifest it from within, from a balanced point of view, and look at, okay, yes, I can be productive. I can be, more thought minded, more practical, more masculine energy of do, of act, of create. But at the same time, if I don't nourish that feminine side of that duality, that passive, that rest, that allowing the energy to come through, I'm not going to be able to create anything. And I think there's a sort of epiphany moment with that. And once your cup becomes full, becomes illuminated, that's when we step into, okay, I can take balanced action now. And we still have rods, we still have wands and other decks, but that fire element of go, action, do, and victory. And it's in a way more balanced manner. We have that power, that vitality, that vigor, but it's not 10 of them. 10 is too many. 6 is a nice balanced energy right in the middle pillar of that tree of life. This is good, balanced, very solar based energy. So again, it's repeating this message of just, take that advice into heart. And we're flipping this. I love that we're flipping this energy. We're not watering ourselves. We're not paying attention to our emotions. We're going at things in an imbalanced way. When we do honor that divine feminine aspect of it, that's when we create the balance, and that's when the cup gets turned right side up. And then we're no longer in like a stuttering idea. We have more than one idea, and we're taking action, and we're victorious on it. So I feel like this is all good. Virgo, you're going to smooth right through this. And this is a pretty turbulent time. Now, I do have one more card that fell on the ground, which means that it's something that's not quite here yet, or something that like you're not allowing in some way. And it's the Three of Pentacles. So I think what this is saying is that there's a realization coming that, in order to do all this creation, I know Virgos, you are very independent and like to kind of do things on your own time and your own way. And you always think that you're right about everything. A lot of the times you are, I will give it to you. But I think for me, the Three of Pentacles is very much a card of collaboration with others in the physical realm. This can be manifestation, beginning. This can be the start of a new business. It can be, kind of structure starting off, but very much collaboration with others to help you in whatever endeavor you're doing. So remember that you don't have to do it all alone, and to allow other people in to help you out with that. All right. Well, that's what I've got for you, Virgo. It looks like this is going to be pretty smooth sailing for you if you just remember things aren't going to move. Things are going to stay where they are, and just remember to water your own garden. Keep keep the things close to you that make you feel comforted. Keep your emotions in mind and tend to them, and allow yourself to take this time to rest and work on the inner self so that the outer self can kind of come together. And I think this will help you to realize in the end that you can lean on others for help more so than you think that you can. All right. That's what I have for you. Again, if you are interested in a personal reading, I do have that information listed below in the description box. I'm located physically here in San Francisco, California, and I do offer readings via Zoom on a very limited basis. Yeah, thank you again, and please stay calm, stay grounded during this turbulent time. I, for one, am not going to be very social this week. Is going to be part of my my take on this energy. Stick to your garden. All right, thank you so much, and I'll see you for the next moon cycle.